Hey everyone, this is another video review, and this is the MakeToys Cross Dimension Thunder Manus MTCD-03 with the Divine Armor. Yes, their second release of this mold, and that's the intended version of the mold. We just got an early kind of special version. You can see he's a fairly long thing, very long vehicle, and we'll have to get it off to the side here because we want to take a real quick look at the box, which you can see it's not like the Thunder Erebus box where it's, really nice artwork. It's just a picture of the toys in various modes. It's still glossy. You can see the reflection off the lights. This is logo on the top, warnings and stuff on the side. On this side you have the trucks modes. This side you have a cutout, a half shot of Thunder Manus in his full armored up mode. And you have a whole bunch of product shots on the back. Yeah, a whole bunch of them in various poses and whatnot, and a profile in Japanese there, which I think it's Japanese anyway. Yeah, so that's the box. It's a fairly large box. Doesn't fit all in the frame. And here, quite frankly, does this at least straight across. And that's not cooperating. And in the box, along with the toy, comes his instructions. All 3 sheets. Yes, there are 3 sheets of instructions. These are the same ones that came with Thunder Erebus, and this new one comes with it for all the stuff for the Divine Armor. These are somewhat better than some previous MakeToys efforts. I think this is actually pretty decent at letting you know how to assemble this, because it does, come apart like it's supposed to. So there's that. They doesn't tell you how to. No, it tells you how to assemble it, but it doesn't tell you how to do it from how it is in the box. But it's pretty easy to figure out. Also, that's the artwork with pretty decent, or this card with pretty decent artwork on it. There's that. And on the back, you have a little code for the potential Divine Shooter toy that may or may not come out if you use the MakeToys app. Yeah, Divine Shooter, they're advertising it, so I'm guessing they're really thinking about doing it. So there's that, I guess. Anyway, figure itself. It's obviously supposed to be a Power Master Prime / Jinrai figure. Another one. I'm quite pleased with the fact we're getting so many of them. And this one, of course, has the full, God Bomber armor and his little dude and everything. It's much like the Erebus release, except just different colors. So reds and blues instead of blacks and grays, and well, gray here, but so mostly reds and blues and stuff. Does roll pretty decently, especially if you can get actual traction, which you can on this surface. The cab can rotate, although some stuff gets in the way. Unfortunately, they didn't fix the problem which Erebus had, which is the post that this attaches to still can just swing the truck cab off to the side really easily if you aren't careful. It doesn't lock in place or anything, which, again, soft indentation all it would take. A soft indent, that's all it would take. Soft lock. And this also can rotate, though. You can see that. It rotates on the back. Not hinge, no problem. Guns here can swivel up and down. This can... It's a ratchet click, but it can look up and down. There you go. Basic stuff. And it comes with the little guy, the not Jinrai. I don't think he even has a name. Different colors than the Erebus release. You can see reds and grays and blacks. Very light blue detailing on the chest and head. I think a little bit of gold there on the face too. Pretty simple. Different chroming or silver paint on the back. Here's compared to the Erebus version. See the difference there. There's difference in paint. Not even the same shade of gray. This is a lighter gray than this guy. Yeah, so this does have a bit more color, so it does pop a little bit more than this guy, but this does have a few little flaws, namely with the articulation. These joints are really, really loose. On the old one, they are not like this. They just flop. So they can do that though. They can move forward and back. Those are tight. The forward and back joint is really tight. Those got ball jointed hips, so those can move forward and back and out, all around. And there's knees. Pretty decent knee. Decent knee. And it can also, well, it can't actually rotate. So that's what you got. That's what you got. Little robot guy. It's all right. I mean, the only purpose really here is for Manus, and of course transforming him is easy. You just flip this hood thing down like that. Take the legs, move it out, rotate them forward like that. Move it out, rotate forward, and then tab the slots. So that, and you have the Thunder Manus engine. Again, this is a nice shade of, nice silver paint right here. Unlike before, it was just gray, but it's nice silver and black. Looks really nice, the silver does. And of course, it can just go on the grill like it's supposed to. Just tabs in. And then the grill I'm going to move this. Grill has a spring, so it can go in a little bit. Of course, it's now slightly offset. I don't know why. Let's try that again. I'm going to tab it in a little better. There we go. Yeah, then you can push that in and that sits in a little better. Then you have the complete package right there. Now we'll take the trailers and put them off to the side for now. Just in the back there. Because we're going to focus on, of course, the cab. You can see it. It's, it's typical Optimus Jinrai colors, reds and blues, and with silver paints and blue translucent blue windows. You can see tech detailing behind them. And, rolls all right by itself. It shares the same problem that Erebus has, which is this bit right here doesn't tab in like at all. This is even worse actually than on the Erebus I have. See, yeah, so you can see the tabs right here. They're supposed to be, they're both supposed to tab in. The problem is this slot right here doesn't reach quite forward far enough for this tab to tab in. Yeah, this right here, there's a little slot here that this doesn't reach forward far enough for the tab in on either side. Unless, the only thing, if you can though, you can kind of do it. The problem is then it makes it even worse on the other side because it just doesn't quite reach. So what happens is you tab it in and it just does this. It kind of slowly does this thing where it just kind of starts twisting to one side. That's not very helpful at all. So the thing is, just you have to kind of just leave it untabbed, unfortunately. It doesn't work. So here it is compared to the Erebus version. You can see that. And the Erebus ones, they actually use black screws. They're silver screws. Those pop out a little easier. But it's a decent cab for, kind of this size. More or less. The only big thing is, unfortunately, these tabs don't quite line up. That's a shame. Because that's one of many QC issues this guy had, thanks to them rushing it out before Chinese New Year. But anyway, transforming it, pretty simple. I've already done this before, so I'm probably going to rush through it. Move these back like that. Untab them, and move them back like this down the legs. Straighten the legs out, and also move the wheels out like that. Move the front wheels out, straighten them out. Separate the legs. Take these feet and rotate them around. Like that. Nice standing. Take the front cab piece and move it down like that, out of the way. Take the roof sections right here in the center. Take those and move them down. Take the head and slide it up until it clicks into place like that. Then move the arms back like this. Then fold them down. Rotate the wrists around so the panels are on the back of the arm. Then take this cab piece, rotate it around, and slide it down. And you pretty much have his robot mode ready to go. Oh, and take these wheels and move them back up. And you have his robot mode ready to go. If everything's lined up. There you go. Robot mode here. It's still the same Legends class esque Genrai Optimus thing. You know, except now an Optimus colors, not Nemesis slash Nucleon Quest colors. Again, I'm going to move this up a little bit and refocus. But yeah, it's the same mold, so I already kind of like it. It's, you know, nice deco. There's no real paint issues or anything on this. This figure mostly was, in this mode is unaffected generally by any QC problems. The only thing is these eyes are very, very light silvery blue. And they're kind of hard to notice. It's not so bad on this mode, but on the super mode, it's definitely noticeable, or at least unnoticeable, and that's kind of the problem. But it's generally a good look. It's got, you know, it's got the Optimus Genrai colors, you know, blue window sill, red, silver grille, yellow at the groin, blue, silver, gray, everything. There's even a little silver detailing on the shoulders. You know, this hangs out in the back. And there you go. It's a decent little Genrai, or Optimus. And of course, you can take these large cannons and move the tops, and you got the little guns for both of them. Stuck in there pretty good. And they slot in. Nothing fancy there. This slots, rails, whatever you want to call them. And they hold in pretty securely. They're not going to slip out. Not unless you want them to. But, yeah, it's a nice one. It looks good. It looks nice. It's a nice little Legend S class toy. And it's also really posable. I mean, it's got a ball jointed head. Like, lots of expression left and right, up and down, side to side, waggle. Lots there. Shoulders can move forward and back easily, although back can be a little hindered by the bumper here. It can kind of go up thanks to this hinge. They also can go outward line this hinge as well. So you got motion there. That also doubles as a bicep swivel because it's a ball joint. You got an elbow. Actually, thanks to how it does everything, it's can curl all the way up. Got a wrist swivel right there. You move stuff out of the way, including this thing. Again, you do have a waist swivel, although you have to move all this stuff out of the way to get it to it, but it does work. Waist swivel. Then you got hips right here, forward, back. Although back, it kind of bangs into this. That's how far back it can go, unfortunately. Also got outward, which the wheel, you have to kind of move it out of the way a little bit. But you got about that much motion outward. Got a slide swivel. Got a knee, pretty deep bend there. And you got this little foot piece, which can also act as an ankle tilt when you swivel it. It's on an angle. And it can move forward and back. Pretty much the exact same posability as the Erebus version. Now, the only thing I want to mention real quick is I forgot to do this. When mine came, the bumper was on upside down. Thankfully, it's just, you know, it's just literally clips on. It's just a clip on, so it's really easy to remove it and just pop it off and rotate it around. But it did come upside down on mine. Another thing is on mine, this head likes to sink the head platform likes to sink really easily, unfortunately. But otherwise, it does look good. Of course, here's the Erebus version. Again, same mold. There's no real difference in molding. There is actually zero difference in molding. It's just colors. And there's also got a little Decepticon symbol because, well, I decided it's Nemesis, even though, yeah, Nuke Quest and all that stuff. But whatever. Oh, yeah, it's a good little Legends figure like this. I like it. Still. Even in these colors and everything. Even with some of the quality control issues. Because this is not really affected by quality control stuff. But we need to, well, do Super Robot. And we have to turn this guy back into a truck. Much a truck for that. Which I'm going to do off camera because, again, speed. So from truck mode, it's pretty easy to take those pieces and once again move them back and also rotate the the wheel well down to the back. Rotate this back. Take these feet, rotate them around like this. Then fold them forward like that. Then take this and bend it at the knees and tab them in up here. Of course, make sure to fold the bumper back like this, and this is pretty much ready to go for the Super Robot mode. You can also take the guns here and at this point plug the smaller ones back in. That. Take them off to the side. That. Trailer here. This is actually pretty easy to unhitch. It just kind of down here, it's tabbed into these little slots on each side of this foot thing. You just undo it like that. It can also roll by itself. Put that to the back right there. Trailer. Pull these guns off. Take these side panels, open them up. Take these panels right here, move them up as well. Take the red flaps like this, like that. And then these tabs will go in those slots. Also extend this out. That. Then take this piece and fold it up, and these tabs right here will go in those slots there. These are supposed to. There we go. Then you can take this whole section right here and rotate it around. Move the camera up. Now take the hitch right here and move it back like this. Take the arms and fold them out so that you can do this. So move it out like that. Take them on these little sliders and slide them forward and lock them into place like that. Slide forward. Lock it into place like that. Take the head platform, pull it out for now. Take these little pieces right here and slide them down the arm, both sides. Now, in the arms, open up the outer flaps and get the fists out. And these are really tight on mine, so it's a pain in the butt to get the hands out. It takes a lot of force. That's how I got this. Rotate the wrists around and close up the flap. From this side, open up. Rotate the wrist hand out, close it up, and rotate the wrist around. That's the upper half done. Now for the lower half, take these flaps to the back, untab them, and rotate them up like this, both of them. Then up here, you want to kind of push up from the underside. You want to push these panels, these blue panels up, and untab them from each other, and that will let them move freely. Move them out all the way out to the side, fold the large panel down, and then fold this little panel around like that. Same here. Round it around like that. Then close this panel over top and line these slots up. I line these slots up with those tabs. Mind this one doesn't fully tab in, unfortunately. Either this is on this side, honestly. Those are the quality control issues I was missing. Okay, down here, untab these wheels from the sides. Untab them and then move this whole piece down. Take this piece, untab it from the legs. Pull this out just a little bit. Slider, it just pulls out a little bit and then fold it up flat like that. Fold up flat like that. Then split the legs. Now down here, take the ankle, fold it out, take these wheels, untab them from the side, rotate them up on this piece, and then rotate them up on the secondary piece like that. Take the toe, fold it up, then take these wheels, fold them until they click into place, move them up, and that's the heel. Then you can take the ankle, move it back up, flatten that out and everything. Then you can fold that flap down like that. This side, same thing. Ankle, toe, wheels, these wheels. Fold that up, then boom. That's all done. And you take the cab, little cylinder piece right there that goes into that, like so. And you take the head thing and head platform, move it down so the smokestacks go in these little slots, and should, keyword should, tab on. The problem is on mine, I'm noticing it doesn't want to always tab, and I don't know why. It doesn't want to tab on cleanly. It likes to pop itself back up. There we go. Got it. It's a matter of lining up sometimes. And take those cannons and put them on the shoulders. And you have, well, the super mode, the Jinrai, super Jinrai, whatever you want to call them. And yes, it looks good. Again, just like Thunder Erebus before him, it looks really good. It's a nice, reds, blues, and silvers. This looks nice. It's particularly striking silver paint. And this is where the problem with the eyes come in. If you see that right there. A lot of people's problems is these eyes are very silvery blue. So they kind of just blend into the silver of the faceplate. They just kind of blend right in. The only reason you can see them here is because of the reflection from the lights. But in a lot of normal lighting, these you can barely see the eyes. People have resorted to taking a darker blue like paint and using it there. But I think that's the only real paint choice that they should have done differently. But other than that, paint-wise, it looks great. I'm not seeing any real huge problems, except for maybe on the shoulders here. The silver is a little uneven. Like you can tell right there that you can see that it's yeah, it's kind of coming off. But it looks nice. Everything here looks nice. Got a nice little gold, muted gold detailing right there on the legs. There's a little bit right here, a little bit on the arms. Does look good. It's also, backpack cleans up real nice and everything. Although on mine, this one doesn't want to fully tab in. Again, tabbing issues. I'm definitely not alone in that. I believe I saw a review that had the same exact problem. But of course, his guns can also slot in like usual. That's the rail. You got to open the fingers though. Gonna open the fingers up to get them to fit. But they just slot in and they're not going anywhere. They don't go anywhere. They're nice tight hold there. So again, looks great. Looks great. Just the QC issues are kind of hamper it. On mine, this arm right here, this pin, I had to pull it out because this arm was actually attached backwards. So this part was facing the inside on this bicep, which meant it couldn't actually transform properly because this slider right here, see, this slider was actually on this side, so it would just kind of bump into it and I couldn't do it right. And it looked bad, and I had to switch that around, and that was a problem. These pieces right here, I had to glue these in because they kept popping out. And there's a little front piece right here. You can see the seam. If the gun gets out of the way. Yeah, you can see the seam right here. And that kept popping out right there. Just kept popping out on both sides. So I had to take some glue and put those in. And I'm definitely not alone in that. I've heard of people getting, someone had the kneecaps were just not there at all in theirs. I've heard people getting both to the same arm, to the same hand. It's just QC wise, this thing is kind of a nightmare, and it's unfortunate because it's a great looking mold. It's just QC wise, they kind of clearly rushed it to market, and it really sucks that because it's a great mold. Again, it looks really good. And articulation-wise, well, again, you got a head on a ball joint, which, you know, this one's pretty tight. You know, good left and right, up and down, waggle. Unfortunately, the platform keeps untabbing itself. I mean, it'll stay, but once you start messing with the head, it likes to dislodge itself, unfortunately. And that's unique to this one. My Erebus does not have that problem. Shoulders, forward and back, and that's really squeaky. It can also go outward on this hinge. Bicep swivel. There's this upper hinge, this upper elbow hinge, and a lower elbow hinge. Funnily enough, on my Erebus, the upper hinge is tighter, like tight ratchets. These are really loose ratchets on mine. This lower joint is a super tight friction on here. But they can curl. They can actually curl all the way, like that. There's wrist swivels. You can see the fingers can open and close, and there's also individual. These 3 fingers are fused together, but this one can move individually. So you got that. Got a ratcheted waist. Nice ratchet. And a ratcheted ab crunch. Very deep ab crunch. You can see that. Hips. Softer ratchet forward and back. This thing can get out of the way, so it can move really far forward. You can move back pretty far, but it bangs and starts banging into this thing. But you move about that far back before it starts banging into things. If you move this thing out of the way, it actually has a pretty decent outward motion as well. Almost 90 degrees. There's thigh swivels. These are supposed to be kind of soft ratchets, and they're extra soft, particularly on this one. This is like almost non-existent. I suspect the gearing might have been ground down already. And I heard one click when I first got it. This clicked once and then never again. So I'm a little concerned about that. I mean, it holds its pose, but I suspect the gear might have destroyed itself. Got knees, which are actually, I believe, double jointed, or very deep at least. Yeah, they got a pretty deep knee bend. Not double jointed, but it is a deep knee bend. Yeah. I double checked that. For some reason I thought it was double jointed, even though it's not. I think I was thinking of a different toy. And you got the ankle tilts. Those are pretty significant. And you got some forward and back, mostly forward. But you got some forward and back articulation if you move the heel a bit. And you can move the heel as support for whatever you need it to be. And that's his articulation. Again, that's the problem, is QC issues are kind of hamper this mold a bit, or at least this release of the mold, because this version doesn't have those issues. Again, you can see just, you know, how they look together. But you can hear, like on this one, you can hear the soft ratchets and stuff on this. You can hear that, just a soft ratchet, much harder ratchet. Versus this, again, there's the ratchet forward and back, but it can barely feel it, and you can't really hear it at all. I also hear this ratchet on the elbow. You can hear that, and then this one moves pretty easily. Versus this one, there's like no real ratchet there, and this moves. This bottom one barely has a hard time moving. It's really odd. It's just these really odd little problems that crop up in this one, but not in this one. And again, it's most likely just because they rushed it out for. They rushed it out because Chinese New Year. They rushed it, and it shows, unfortunately. I really wish that wasn't the case, but that's how it is. Because its mold really deserves better. It's a good mold. It's a good design. It's a lot of fun. It's just this one is plagued by issues. And I'm hoping that maybe a second run will fix a lot of those issues. But unfortunately, I'm not super optimistic about it. We'll see, though. But yeah, that's the Super Robot. But of course, there's the God bomber armor, or divine armor, as they call it here. So to prepare for that, one, remove the guns if you haven't already. All the guns. You haven't already. And then you want to take the hands, you want to open those flaps up side and put the hands back in, like so. Same on this side. Sure to rotate them or else they won't fit. That's good to go. Then the feet. Check the feet. You gotta take the heels, move them down, and then rotate them around like that. Same on this side. Rotate it around like that. The feet, and now he won't be able to really stand super well. At least not without leaning the way forward. But I'm gonna put that way back there for now. Now, the divine armor here. It comes apart. It's parts forming. It's God Bomber. It's always been parts forming. So first thing you got to do is open that up and untab that. Untab on the sides here. You got to move those out like that. They're tabbed here. Untab here. There's little 2 tabs right here. Untab that. Untab the red wing part from the back. Each side, you can see it's tabbed in right there. Untab that and put that off to the side for now. Where you're going to continue removing stuff. Take this black piece right here, remove that. That piece. Take these silver pieces, remove them, like so. Take these little red pieces as well, pop them off. They're just pegged on. Take these 2 pieces right here. They're tabbed in the sides right there. You untab them. These can be a pain in the butt to get tabbed in when you're trying to go back to vehicle mode. Put those back to the side. Take the arms. They're not, on mine, this one in particular, they don't tab in super hard, super well. They're very loose, but pull them out. See, there's the slots right there. There's the tabs. Again, this one doesn't tab in super well. This one's okay. This one likes to fall off really easily. It's only held in by everything else. Then you take these blue pieces and untab them from the side like that. They're just tabbed in right here in the center thing. Untab them from the side. These hold in really strong, I'll say that. These hold in really strong. And one of them, the pin on for the wheel is a little loose. I mean, it works just fine, but if you're not careful, it's easy to accidentally grab the wheel and pull the pin out. This is the one, this one right here, see that? It's really easy to accidentally loosen the pin, and then I have to shove it back in some way. Yeah, so just be careful of that if you get that. That's another QC problem. And then you have all the individual pieces. Now, first thing you want to do also is take this black flap and rotate it down like this, and take these flaps like that. Put that off to the side for now. Now, these are going to be the ankle pieces. See, these are what going to plug into the bottom of the Manus here. See, you see that there's a little clip and a tab slot. You got to make sure you have the right one. So the wheels go on the outside. So you got to make sure it's here. Just do that. Same. So this, it can actually take a bit of a force. So hold it. Make sure to hold it properly too when you're doing this. There, it's plugged in. This side. Plug it in. Like that. Now got these pieces, you separate them. They're going to be like little boosters. Now, personally, I think the instructions tell you to put them on like this. If you do it like this, this right here, this piece right here is going to block up ankle articulation. So what you want to do is actually put it in so this larger side is on the outside of the foot. So you want to put it here. And again, it's a little slot. There's a little slot thingy, little clip that goes over this. And this little right here will go into this little slot there. See that slot? this one's actually goes on pretty easy usually. That. Same on this side. Same thing. There. And he's got little boosters, and now he also got free ankle articulation as well still. Now he's also noticeably taller. Move this up a bit. Then you got these pieces right here. So the thing, make sure this rounded piece, this is the top. The rounded piece is the top. And these little plus symbols right here, you can see those. Going in the screw holes right there. Make sure you got it correct, and then just slide it in from the side. There you go. Easy peasy. And this is also simple, just a simple tab that goes in that slot. Holds in tight though, that's nice. It is nice. I have noticed the Divine Armor is a little bit better about the QC stuff, except for the tabbing on this stuff. Except the tabs on that. From here, there's these pieces. These go on the shoulders. They just peg in. This pill peg. And this goes in the top of the shoulder. You see there's a little indentation in the shoulder here. That's what that goes into. Just do that. It's a real snug fit. It's really difficult to get those out once you plug them in. So just plug it in like that though. And it gives them little bulkier shoulders. And you hand the fists. Make sure you have, the right one. Open that up. There's a little tab there, right there, that the little fist things will clip onto. So just make sure so it clicks like that, and then you can pull that over. Same on this side. Click into place. Click into place. There you go. You got the fist done. And then this piece here, right here. This, you gotta take these pieces. There's little clips again on the back, and this little slot right here, which goes over those two tabs and that tab right there. And these can be a bit finicky sometimes, especially when you're trying to line up the lower slot, but those go in like that. And then finally, the chest piece and everything. This, what you want to do is take these little gray wings, fold them down, rotate them around to the back like this, and this is where a lot of options come into play. So you fold this down, rotate it back like that. Now it's behind the wing. Now, you can either fold them up like this so they're totally behind the wing, or kind of have a little lower wing. I like to do it like this. I believe PL does the same thing. The shoulder cannon also can, it goes in here. It's in really tight. You can also take this little piece right here, pull it out, and you can swap shoulders if you want. So if you want this on the left shoulder, you can do that. Again, just kind of a little tougher, but yeah, you can put it on this way if you want. And then this piece, just a filler piece just for this thing. Literally just plugs in. But I prefer it on the right shoulder, so if I can. Yeah, that's a tight fit. There, I prefer on the right shoulder. Anyway, so there's that. The wings, I like to have it like this. Now, for this part, what you gotta do, there's a little slot right here where my thumb is. See that? That little slot. This tab right here goes into that. Like so. Make sure to line everything up properly. Bring this over the shoulders. Make sure that's all properly lined up. And then there's slots, these tabs here will go into these slots here. Like that. And now you have the full-blown God Bomber, whatever they call him, Thunder Manus guy. Oh, and you take these guns and they go in these peg holes. Like that. That's pretty straightforward. This is the full-blown Thunder Manus. And it looks great. Again, it looks fantastic. I like how it looks here. I'd like the extra shoulder bits. I'd like how this looks. I'd like the super stylized chest piece. The wings look great. The shoulder cannon's nice and big and, you know, go up and down and side to side. That's the extra piece of articulation, although you have to move it all the way down if you want it to clear these pieces back here. But looks great that way. Head articulation's unhindered. It still looks left and right, up and down, side to side. Fortunately, the fortunate thing is these are kind of large. He's just barely peeking over them if he's looking to the side. These are unhindered. The arms are unhindered. They still have the same articulation before. Wrists, still wrist swivels. Still opening fingers. Still individual, except now there's an extra knuckle on the pointer. So I guess you got that. So you know you have the extra knuckle there. Down here though, let's see, waist still unhindered. You can't click it forward as far because this stuff starts banging into each other, but you still have an ab crunch. Hips though, things start to get a little problematic because of this stuff. You go about that far forward. That's all you get. Forward. And then this popped off because I pushed it forward. Outward you don't have any problems. There's no problems there, but yeah, forward articulation is limited. Ankle articulation still good. Still got good ankle articulation there. So you got that. You can also take these cannons, which is nice. There's little tabs on there. You can take the cannons and tab them onto the wings. Bit tight, especially on that one. You can also adjust the wings angle so you can move them back, move them forward, however you want them there. And that looks great too. I think that looks great with those on there. You know, so you can, you know, fly around and I guess shoot people, although they're kind of angled, but I don't mind that so much. You can rotate, you can't really rotate them. You can rotate them up a bit if you want. That just came off. You can rotate the wings up, but you can't really rotate them down. So it looks really good. You can see that it just looks really good. It's and everything. He's even got this sword. Pull that out. He's got a sword, and yeah, you can see the handle clips off. So to get in his hand, you have to do that. Oh, open up the hand, slot it in. Here's again, rail system. Slot it in, close the fist and everything. And then you take the guard and tab that in. And now he's got a sword. Very good looking sword, honestly. And just to give you an idea of how much larger he gets compared to his old self, here's Erebus again. You can see he gets a good head of height off the mostly in the feet really. Feet really add a lot of height to him, but you can see yeah, he gets a good bit larger. So yeah, it's a Thunder Manus. It looks great. The problem is the quality control is all over the place on these guys. So that's the thing. MakeToys is usually pretty good about replacement parts, but I'm hearing a lot of people saying that MakeToys is telling them they don't have any more parts, unfortunately. Some places still have this guy in stock. He's $125, an extra $25 over Erebus, who's only $100. So the question is, should you get him? And that really depends on it. I mean, the QC issues make it a kind of a gamble. If the QC, with the QC as it is, it might not be worth it for you. There are some issues which are totally fixable. Like I said, I popped a pin on mine to make it work correctly. But for some people, like they're just like one guy had missing kneecaps. That's not something you just fix. You have to get extra parts or something. So it really comes down to like, are you willing to take that quality control gamble? If you aren't, then no, it's not worth it. If you are, there's a fantastic figure waiting for you that might have a couple little issues that you might have to deal with, like trying to get replacement parts or something, or fixing it yourself. It looks phenomenal. The transformation's pretty straightforward. The only thing is the divine armor can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to turn back to truck mode, I guess. But beyond that, it looks great. It's fun to play with. I just really like how this looks, and I actually want to see what their big divine armor, the full standalone divine shooter will be. I want to see that, and I want to see what that's like if they actually do it. And I suspect, it's going to be a little bulkier in this and might limit articulation even more, but it will look great, I think. So it's great looking. It's kind of fun to play with, particularly the smaller robots, pretty fun. But it's got its own quality control issues, and that's kind of the crux of the issue, whether or not it's worth buying. I'd say if you're a big fan of Jinrai or Power Master Prime, and you're willing to take the gamble on the QC, then yeah, it's totally worth getting. But if you're not willing to take that gamble, I would honestly skip it. At $125, you might get burned and might not be easy to get taken care of. So it really comes down to that, really. Are you willing to take that quality control gamble? I did. I don't regret it personally. I really like, Power Master Prime and Jinrai and stuff, so I don't regret it. I don't mind. I'm going to keep both him and Erebus for sure. It's not, for me, it's not like one or the other. If you can get Erebus, go for it. I mean, definitely. If you're worried about it and you just if you like the base mold enough and you don't mind getting a black version, you can find him. Go for Erebus. He's worth it. Erebus has I didn't hear any major quality control problems, but you might not be able to get him because he sold out a while ago. But Manus here, I say it's worth it if you're willing to gamble. He's worth it if you're willing to gamble on that, but if you're not, pass over him, honestly. It's a crapshoot about what problem yours is going to have. It's almost guaranteed to have a problem as well. But I think it looks great. And it's fun. It's just also the problem is in this mode, the super limited articulation. I mean, we're not super limited, but you can just, not have these parts on, the thighs. If you don't have the thigh armor on, you have really no problems with articulation, though. So just something to be aware of. So that's it. That's my way longer than I thought it would be review of this guy. Hope you found this informative or entertaining. Again, this is Thunder Erebus, MCD-03, I think. Yeah, MTCD-03 from MakeToys. Worth it if you're willing to gamble with the quality control, I think. And you really, really like the character. So, or design of this. So, that's that. I hope you enjoyed. And I shall see you next time with another video review.